Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to crochet a dish rag. It's pretty simple. These are a couple dish rags that I crocheted as an example. For these I used a small spool of the dish rag yarn. That's why I have 1.5 that have the same color. So you can get, with this pattern that I'm using, you can use 1.5 of it. You can make 1.5 dish rags out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll get started with that. But today I'm using a big spool of yarn instead of one of the small ones, because I think that was my last small one that I used. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain 29. So go ahead and chain 29. Okay, now that I have 29 chains, I'm going to work on the back of the chain. I'm going to be working in the little loops here. So I'm going to go in with a half double crochet. We're going to be working with half double crochets today. I'm going to go in the second chain from your hook with a half double crochet. I like to go in with the pointed area first. Yes, you will have a little difficulty with this. I usually do too, so if you have difficulties with this, don't worry, I do too. At least the first couple, until you really get used to it. Okay, you're going to pick up that one little loop that's down here, and you're going to do your half double crochet. And then we'll go in. You're going to do that all the way to the end. So then when you're done, the bottom of your half double crochet will look the same as the top of your half double crochet. So that's the top of your half double crochet, and that's the bottom of your half double crochet. It'll make it a whole lot easier when you go to do the border around it. You'll be able to do the border a little bit easier when it comes to this part. It kind of saves you time, I guess. For me anyways. Got a little bit too much there. Okay, now that we got to the last one, I'll do the very last one. You're gonna have that tail there. I would not tighten that up because it's just gonna tighten up this bottom loop. So keep it loose. So it might look like it curls up. You just kind of stretch it out a little bit and it won't curl up anymore. So we're gonna go on with our second row. So what you're gonna do is you're going to turn your work, chain 1, go in with a half double crochet in the top of the first stitch, and you're going to do a half double crochet all the way to the end, and you're going to repeat that. You're going to be doing 20 rows of that, so you should have a total of 20 rows. And when you get done with that, I'm going to show you how to do the border around it, which is pretty easy. Okay, so now that I have my 20 rows done, should look about like that. I'm going to show you how to do the border. The border is pretty easy. We're going to be working in a single crochet. So I'm going to turn my work. Get my string here. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do a single crochet in the first top of the stitch. And I'm going to work a single crochet all the way down this first row. And then I'll show you what to do when we get to the end. Okay. And in the very last top of the stitch, you're going to put 2 single crochets. Oops. Let's get in there. I'm going to put 2 single crochets in that one. And then we're going to work on the sides here in the half double crochets. We're going to work in the side of them. So what I like to do is I like to find where my half double crochets are at. So this is a half double crochet. I'm going to work 1 into the side of it, 1 single crochet in the side of it, and then in between the half double crochets you'll see a little loop, and sometimes you won't have that small of a loop. You'll have like these bigger openings in between, and I like to put one right between there, single crochet, and then you have your other half double crochet over here. I'm going to work 1 into the side of that one. And then I have a loop here in between the half double crochets. I'm going to work 1 in there. And I have another half double crochet right here. I'm going to work 1 into here. And then sometimes this is tricky to find the loops, especially on some of them. And they will look really, really tiny like that. And I'll grab that and work a single crochet in that. And you're going to do that all the way around the edge. And on the very bottom of it, it's going to be just like the top, because we did we worked on the other side of our chain. So it's going to be all the way around. And on every corner, you're going to want to make sure that you do, on the very last one, when you get to corners, you're going to want to do 2 single crochets so that you have enough to make a little curve like we did there. So let's continue here. Sometimes you will have to work your crochet hook in some of the either small holes in between, or in between the half double crochets, or in the double crochets. It just depends on how tightly you made them. I do suggest that you make them loose. I like to make them pretty loose. And it also, if you do it loose, it does make the dish rag a little bit bigger. If you work on your half double crochets or even your single crochets, just depends on what stitch you're using. I would do them kind of loose, not too loose, but loose enough to where they're not so tight and hard. You want them to be kind of soft and loose. Okay, so now that we are at the end of that side, you will see that that looks really nice having that border on there. And we're now at the corner, so I'm going to show you how to do the corner again, especially because you're going into a new spot here. So on this first chain here that was there, we're going to go in there and we're going to do 2 half double crochets, and I'm going to hold my tail that's on this end to the back. That way I don't get it tangled up or anything. We'll do 2 single crochets in there, and then you're going to do your single crochets all the way to the end, and you're going to do in the very last one, you're going to do 2 single crochets, just like I just did. Okay, now that we're at the very end of our chain, in this one that I just put one in, we're going to put another one, another single crochet to make 2. Oops. To make 2 of them in that one so that it will have a nice curve on it. And then you're going to repeat what I just did on this side. You're going to be working on the sides. You're going to be working your single crochet along the side here. So we're going to put, make sure I get this right here. Put a single crochet right here, single crochet in between, and then put a single crochet here into this one, and then we'll put a single crochet right into that little hole there, and we'll stick one right in that loop there. If I can get it pull up, there we go. And then you're going to continue that all the way to the end. Okay, and now that we're at the end, we made it all the way around our dish rag here. We made it all the way around. So now that we're at the end, you're going to do one more single crochet in where the last single crochet was that you did, which was right here. We'll add one of those. And then you're gonna slip stitch into the top of the single crochet for single crochet that's here. You're gonna slip stitch. And then you can go in with your scissors, cut a big enough tail to where you can weave it in. And you can just pull it right through. And you are almost done. All we have to do is weave in your ends now, and I'll show you that here. For weaving in ends, I like to use this big yarn needle to weave in my ends. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to put my yarn, my tail, in my needle here. And I'm just going to work it in here. So I'm going to just find a little opening here and work it into this little stitch here. And you can just work it in wherever. If it's not the same color, it's okay. Most of the time you don't really notice. I like to try to stay in with the colors I have. So I'm just gonna kind of weave it in here with the rest of it. This will help it so that that tail doesn't come loose and your crochet project doesn't weave itself out. When you feel like you've weaved it enough, when you've weaved your ends in enough, I'll do one more thing here. Just kind of stretch it out a little bit there and cut it close, but not too close to your stitch. And there's one end. We'll do the other end here, wherever you're at. And this one is also blue, so we're gonna work it in with the half double crochets that are here. So let's go in and we'll figure it out here. Figure out where we've got some ends here. Okay, now that we got that weaved in, I'll cut off my end. There you go. You have a beautiful dish rag.